Hello everybody, Matt Foyer here, the director of the Missouri Institute of Science. And since we're still closed, we figure we bring the museum to you. And today we are going to talk about Henry the Triceratops. He is not only the world's largest Triceratops, he is also the world's largest bird-hipped dinosaur at just a little over 18 metric tons or 40,000 pounds, roughly the weight and size of a fire truck. Give you something to think about. Anyway, so let's talk about Henry. Here's Henry's massive skull. Now, this is all fabricated. We had to make this skull because most of Henry's skull is missing. We've recently found a few bits and pieces of bone from the skull. So we do actually have some of it, and we're going to go out this summer and look for more. So many more cool discoveries yet to be found, I'm sure. But anyway, let's talk about the front of Henry here. Okay, let's talk about something we normally don't think of. So you see this area here? This in real life would have been covered with a kind of a fingernail type material called chitin, okay? A beak, if you will, like a turtle beak, a snapping turtle, okay? Think of that beak on the top and bottom. This is for scissoring plant material, rough plant material, because if we look at the cycad back here, now the cycad is basically food, or some of the food that Henry would have eaten, okay? It's very rough. It feels almost like plastic. And it's got very sharp little needles on the end of it. Okay, now this is a living one. It's alive. All right, this is a common one you see today in ornamental foliage in yards, especially in warmer areas. But these things would have gotten huge and big enough to support Triceratops coming through and eating them. But to bite down on these, to scissor this stuff off, to shear it off to eat it, you would have had to have massive jaws, big, strong teeth, and a beak. A beak to scissor that stuff off, to cut that material, because again, it's very, a lot of ouchies on it when you touch it. Now, when you come to the museum, if you've been here already, you've seen these, you'll notice we've got a couple of signs that say poisonous. Okay, now this one is not poisonous. Okay, it's the cardboard cycad we have by the window. It's got the bigger, broader leaves, like almost like feathers. They're really thick. And so that's the one that's poisonous. And it's okay to touch it, but it's not okay to eat it. So if you eat the leaves, they're poisonous, but really the poisonous part is a seed pod. The seeds within the seed pod contain psychocin. It's a neurotoxin, and a couple of seeds will kill a human. And so that's why we have it safely tucked away behind ropes and all that stuff, so you can't mess with it. But these weren't poisonous to Triceratops. These guys had an immunity to the poison, or the cycads weren't poisonous back then. We're not really sure which one at this point, but we realize that these guys were not affected by that and probably readily ate cycads. All right, so let's talk a little bit more about Henry and what makes him really cool. As we clean the bones, as we call prep them, and then later on we'll do a video in the lab and I'll show you more of Henry's bones and kind of what we're doing down there, okay? But as we prep the material, we're starting to find some really cool features. Now, as we zoom in here a little bit, this is Henry's femur, or his leg, his upper thigh bone, okay? Right here, this area right here and over here, this is different looking bone than up here and down here. This is soft tissue that's been preserved, it's been ossified. So Henry would have had bad knees. His knees would have been a little achy, a little creaky. But this is the stuff, this is soft tissue that was preserved for 67 million years. Amazing stuff. But this tells us that Henry was arthritic, a little arthritic. He had bad knees, sore. And then of course, when we started to prep some of the vertebrae, some of his backbone, we saw additional arthritic growth, these little fingers of bone that are coming out. This tells us that Henry was, one, very old for his species, and two, suffered some aches and pains, daily stuff. Think about your parents if they're older, or your grandparents. They get up out of a chair and they hurt, their back hurts a little bit. This is the aches and pains of what it's like to get older and be a backboned animal. So that's roughly Henry here. Now as I walk through, at some point Henry will have ribs and vertebrae and all this, but right now I'm standing where Henry's guts would have been, okay? And at some point, we'll have all the ribs and vertebrae, and so we won't be able to do this anymore. So come out and see him before, and then come out and see him after. And so over the next few months, we'll have all this stuff going in. All right, I'm gonna bring your attention very quickly over to this case here. We're doing a lot of research on Henry as we prep the bones, as we dug him up. There's a lot of work. We're always constantly
taking measurements, looking for signs of what was around Henry, what kind of plant life, what kind of animals, what was the sedimentology like? Was it a stream? We know that he died near a stream or in a stream, okay? We know this because we found the right type of sediment. We found stream deposits in there. We also found crocodile scutes, and we found washed in Nanotyrannus teeth. I say washed in because at this point we have no evidence that Henry was scavenged. There's no evidence of puncture marks or bite marks in any of the bones, whether they're healed or not, but we did find some teeth, and so we can assume that somebody ate on Henry after he died. I mean, it's 40,000 pounds of flesh sitting there rotting. It would have brought scavengers like Nanotyrannus, even T-Rex. That's a little piece of enamel from the T-Rex we found out there, and little tiny raptor teeth, little turkey-sized raptors. Not the big ones you see on Jurassic Park. Along with this, we found one of Henry's teeth, right there. Now I'll use this one as an example. Okay, you can see this is the crown of the enamel. Henry's got a big tooth. He's a big animal. Takes big bites. All right. Here is a fossil fig leaf here. It's a different species than we have today, but it's a fig leaf. This is not from the Henry side. This is from Wyoming nearby, but still, they were around there. Also, we find turtle. When we dug up Henry, we found little bits and pieces of turtle all over the place. Now, this one isn't from the Henry site, but this is a turtle. This is the lower shell, and this is from the same age sediment in Wyoming, just a different site. So anyway, that tells you just a little bit about kind of the environment that Henry lived in. It shows us a little bit about what Henry encountered as he looked down and saw the crocodiles and turtles and other dinosaurs that were in his world. Anyway, hope you enjoyed the video. In a few weeks when we're open again, hopefully, come on out and see Henry in person. He's a beautiful thing. Take care, guys.